how strong are you compared to everyone else?
This might sound like a simple enough question to some of you, but when you really take a deep dive into the actual statistics of it, some of you are going to be pretty shocked at what there is to find. Well, statistically, you may not like what I have to say. Now, for some preliminary background context, back in the late 2018, the CDC published a survey called the National Health Statistics Report number 122, in which they tried to find the average body type in the USA. Now, the study was done on males aging 20 to 39, and what they found in their studies is actually really surprising. Let me explain. Out of all the people the CDC tested, the average male height was only about 5 foot 8 inches tall, weighing in at just under 200 pounds at 197, with the average waist circumference being 38.5 inches. And for future reference, I'll be putting all the sources to my videos in my Discord server, which you can find in the link in the description after this video. While the statistics I just mentioned already give us valuable information on how we stack up against the average American body type, we still don't know the answer to the question how strong you are compared to the average American male. But that can be... Hey, I'm trying to talk here. I'm doing my thing. What do you... Okay, well just do the transition already. They love the transitions. All right, fine. The state you live in can actually predict how strong you are compared to other people in different states. In 2014, the CDC published another study that went over what percentage of people met their state guidelines on physical activity, both for aerobic and strength. And interestingly enough, both Colorado and Alaska scored the highest, with over 25% of their residents meeting the minimum physical requirement. While on the other hand, West Virginia, notorious for having the title of unhealthiest state in America, West Virginia scored dead last, with less than 15% of their residents meeting the minimum state requirement. And let's just be honest here, a state-held physical exam already probably has the bar set a little low. But as a fellow gym bro, we need to measure these statistics in a metric that we actually understand. Cue the music. I tried to be like a LeBron with like the baby powder. That didn't work. Now there's just a mess everywhere. This was not the best idea. If one scoop of this pre-workout represented all the people in the United States who took their state physical guidelines exam, then that would mean one serving equals 50 grams. Equivalent amount of people who passed the exam would only be about less than 20% of this entire serving, which would come out to about this much. Which would mean statistically for you, that would be like picking a number between 1 through 10 with only 3 correct answers. Sounds easy enough, so let's try it. Pick a number 1 through 10. Was it between 1 and 3? If not, then you are part of the over 3/4 majority who did not meet the physical guidelines set by their state. And if it was between 1 and 3, then you are part of the very few who did. I think when it comes to public perception, the bench press plays a heavy factor, no pun intended, on people's perception of strength. I recently benched 335 pounds for my very first time, which statistically, less than 1% of the entire world population can do. And if you're curious about your bench PR, here's a statistical analysis on how good your bench press is at a certain body weight. I'd love to hear what section you're in down in the comments. I'm actually really interested and curious what you have to say. With that being said, there is more than one way to determine someone's strength. For example, the CDC put out a study that tested men's average grip strength, which came out to around 90 to 120 pounds with the average male, and college football athletes in the range of 130 to 50 pounds. Now, keep in mind, even just the regular men were signed up to a fitness newsletter, which means they may not truly represent the average American male who may not be really into fitness. And speaking of the average American male, studies show that sadly, our previous generations were a lot stronger than us. And while that may not come off as a surprise, it is still interesting to hear. And while we do have a lot more office jobs in today's age, and not all of us are working 12-hour shifts in a factory until we're 65, for some reason that just doesn't seem as appealing anymore, it still is interesting to hear. A lot of people like the idea of being strong, but they don't have a precise way to get there. Now, the principle of specificity states that the more you specifically train for something, the better you will get at it, rather than just a broad, generalized approach. For instance, most people do a standard rep range of 10 reps for 4 sets, but if you're trying to get stronger, then the ideal rep range would be 4 to 6 reps, heavier, and a lot longer rest times between your sets. Ideally adding 5 to 10 pounds of weight to your exercises every couple of weeks. This is known as progressive overload. And despite any gimmicks you might see online, a 4 to 6 rep range with longer rest periods and heavier weight will in fact make you stronger, especially if you add progressive overload. This principle of specificity also applies to certain exercises. If you want to get stronger at bench, then you need to do more bench press. If you want to get better at pull-ups, then you need to do more pull-ups. Try adding weight to them to make it harder. Go down to the description in this video and click on the link to join our free Discord server. We will be sharing extremely helpful exercise and motivational advice, as well as hosting fun fitness-related events. And if you just want to be a part of an awesome, healthy, fitness-related community, then I would love to see you there. Click on the link in the description to join for free right now. And with that out of the way, guys, I appreciate every single one of you for watching. Peace.